a Three Wise Swans production. Visit us at threewiseswans.com or see us on Amazon. Visit us on TikTok or Instagram. In my head, I mean, you can write stories, so write one. And I was already writing one, but I was writing it with him. So that became my very first independent story. So Noise Story became the first thing I was writing on my own, which had got some longevity. So to me, that leads right into you, Swan. You're now on the hook. What do you think? What's your story and, in your journey?
Well, I have to say, to my memory, it goes back to being in school, pre-K. Um, I've never gotten over, I can't remember the teacher's name, but I never got over, I could see her face and I could hear her voice, her reading to me in the class in kindergarten. And she said she had she sat us around in a circle and wanted to read something to us. And of course, at the time, being young like that, I didn't know what she was talking about by this book or whatever. I got to know what it was as I got older, obviously, and I did remember the title from way back then. It was called Where the Wild Things Are. The thing that was prominent in my memory that I can't shake is how I remember all the kids that was in the circle was starting to cry when she's reading this story. Apparently, it was supposed to be a scary story, but not to me, because the teacher did me she did something for me that I can't ever get over, and I will never be able to repay her in person because I don't know where she's at, for starters. But she built that desire to do what she did to me to other people, because she not only read it, she acted it out. She started talking about the monsters, and at the point in the story where the monster is outside the kid's bedroom, she's sitting there and the monster's like woo, woo, and she's doing all like this, and the kids is like screaming and they're scared. And I was I was falling over laughing. It was the funniest thing in the world to me, because it didn't feel threatening the way she was reading it, in my opinion. Now, flash forward, that imprinted in my mind as a pivotal moment, but it was added to by, like, you and Jerome watching cartoons and listening to the, like, dialogue of Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and the Disney shows, where my memory going back to then, when I first recall watching some Disney, it wasn't really any actual dialogue. It was like music. It was Mickey Mouse, um, uh, the Tugboat Willie or something like that, I think it was. But it appealed to me because I saw the words. I couldn't necessarily read everything I saw, but I saw the words going across the screen, but they didn't audiolize it. I guess that's the way you would say it. It wasn't an audio. It was music playing. It was like little words and Mickey Mouse doing his thing. And that just kind of snowballed for me, because I don't know how I put it together and at what time, but all I know is by the time I was maybe in like the second grade, I was introduced to dinosaurs by a school friend. And I watched him draw these dinosaurs, and he never really did anything with the dinosaurs but drew them. And I always thought I might be thinking, but I'm not sure how to go about saying what they're thinking. However, while I'm doing that, at the same time that I'm experiencing that, I'm trying to learn how to draw, because for some reason, to me, if I can draw it, I can write about it. I don't even know how to explain that. But it turned out to be accurate, because lo and behold, as I was teaching myself how to imitate what I seen him draw, I was starting to come up with ideas for what they would say. And I don't remember ever giving dinosaurs dialogue, but the thought was in my head by that time. And so by the time I got a little bit better at drawing, I'm drawing other things. I'm collecting comics that my grandfather started us on, our grandfather started us on. And all of a sudden, I'm creating little characters based on what I'm getting from the comics, and I'm doing little stories to go along with the characters. I have no idea. All I know is I wrote some stuff.
And most
And
likely it didn't make sense.
yeah, absolutely. And then I started seeing things around me in the real world, and I'm sitting there feeling compelled to say something about them. But the big thing that was a problem for me that I can remember is I was way too shy to tell anybody my thoughts. So I wasn't sharing with like someone like a teacher that maybe would have helped me get to a point quicker. I wasn't doing that. I was just like silently writing my thoughts down, little bits here and there and stuff. And at some point, I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe around third or fourth grade, some of the stuff that I was saying seemed like it might have some kind of relevance to somebody, but I still didn't share it. I did write it down, and I started writing it down in what I found out later was could be considered poetry. Didn't know a thing about poetry.